He said, I got crazy.
All right. Yeah. So we are live, live episode 15 Legacy Lounge. You got myself, Tino, the Commissioner Gordon. We have Fancy, Sylvia, our special guest for this episode, Jason Beauvais. Jason, what do you want to tell people about yourself? Just kicking it off, man.
Just real quick, man. First of all, before I kick this thing, man, you three are some awesome people. Dude, it was we just got to spend a weekend together. We're all in business together now. We'll talk about that in a minute. But I love being around good people that are doing the right thing. And it's kind of crazy how we're all intersecting our lives to this exact moment for something big. So I'm an owner of Vantage Financial. You guys can see that on here. I'm married. I got 6 kids. I got kids everywhere. No big deal. Don't be laughing at me, dude. Listen, I have a 25-year-old. Look like I'm 12, right? So 25 down to 4, 5 boys, 1 girl. But actually, I like to hop right into this episode, man. I'm pretty fired up today. I know what we're going to talk about. So,
hey, man, look, I appreciate you getting on. And so what we're going to talk about is just the truth shall set you free. We're going to right some wrongs. We're going to expose some things in industry. Why are we even here all together? We all had different experiences, different backgrounds, different journeys, but yet the 4 of us have able to come together to talk about some things that we absolutely need to talk about, to get off our chest so we can save some families and save some lives. But Jason, I see you bouncing up and down, ready to get it go and all excited. So I'm passing it to you, man.
No, man, I know we were all from Rockford and we all started kind of talking. We've all been in the industry for a long time, obviously in the financial services industry, different companies. And it was crazy. We're just kind of all chopping it up. And like some of the common things that kind of made us all kind of merge together where we're at is kind of crazy that we were all in different companies, all independent, by the way. So we got some independence and some stuff like that. And a lot of the same issues we were all running across or the way things were being ran were like the same exact story. So today I just was like, man, I know we all got together to kind of get it out there live on some things that we feel are maybe going the wrong way or incorrect. And I think if people just don't understand it, so we're getting caught up in this model. And we all agreed when we were in Rockford that a lot of people are leaving this model or getting a bad taste in their mouth. And honestly, it's the best industry in the entire planet. I don't know, Fancy, if you want to add to that part, but this is probably one of the, in my opinion, this is the single greatest industry in the world for someone that can come in part-time, have a license and help other people. But I think it's been getting tainted over this last 10 years. It's been kind of crazy to see what's going on. But I don't know, Fancy, if you want to add to that or.
I do, Jason, when you say that, especially with what we went through in Rockford, it kind of makes me think of when spiritual or religious people, they call it getting church hurt. Like you love God, you want this relationship, you know it's the right thing, but something occurs within that construct and it makes you shun, it makes you fall back. You know better, you feel better, but you just can't get past that. And that's the point that I was at. I've been licensed almost 16 years, right? And just going from industry, well, I should say company to company, and even being independent, it was kind of like we were getting this mark like a used car salesman. And that's not what this is about. We literally save lives. We literally sell money, benefits. We show people how to use tax codes to grow their money in a way that otherwise people don't know about. And I was just so distraught. And so to be able to form alliances with you, Tino, and it's bigger than raw rap. We deep. We coming. You know what I'm saying? So it's so exhilarating to finally, I feel resurrected. I feel renewed. You know what I mean? I pulled my license back out, dusted it off. We ready. And on both sides of the spectrum. Because it's just not about the families on the side where we're educating people, but it's the families on our side too, right? The feeling that I had and being depleted and not going on. So we ready. It's on.
So I know somebody watching this will probably be like, well, what are they even talking about?
Fact.
Oops.
Yeah. So anybody want to answer that?
Sylvia, I think Sylvia can lay this out real nice. She's the most articulate.
Right? Oh, really? I think that would be fancy, but I would take it. Just the integrity of the industry, the integrity and the foundation of the industry has really been tainted. And the industry that we're talking about is the life insurance industry. It has been put in place to really help families and to help people that want to do something different and want to set up a legacy for their families. But it's just people are getting hurt, people are getting taken advantage of in the process, and that's not what this is supposed to be about. It's not supposed to be about that. It's supposed to be about helping people get further along, building legacy, setting yourself up for the future. And yeah.
Hey, so I think it's important. So let's go. Let's travel down that lane. So when we
Yeah.
say people getting hurt, right? So real quick, and I think we can all say this here. And guys, I'm going to say this before we get into this. This is not to bash the companies or anything else, but we can only speak from our experience of where we came from. So I was actually, I'm an owner now with Vantage Financial Alliance, but I was with World Financial Group for 10 years. I loved the company. I loved everything that was going on. Some things inside of it, which we'll talk about indirectly today, made me make a move to get out of there. I don't know if you guys ever want to share some of the places you were at. I mean, I don't know. There's different companies out there. That's where I did my whole 10-year career before moving over, and I'm with Vantage now. But does anyone want to share maybe where they were at? We won't talk directly about anything, but I just want to maybe give some lenses on where we were
I've
working.
been with NAA, Equus, FFL, Senior Life. It's a rap sheet for me.
So one of the things that I want to say is really just to make this clear. One of the things you talked about, Jason, is putting the mission before commission, and that's kind of what Sylvia was getting at. And talking about hurting families, there's just a lot of bad information out there. There's a lot of bad tactics out there, and families are being hurt when they need us the most. And so really, again, when we're talking about the truth shall set you free, we just want to right some wrongs and expose some things going on in the industry. Take it away.
No, it's awesome. All right. So a couple things. So, I mean, we were talking before we got, so I think let's talk maybe the first little bit about the client side, and then maybe the agent side will be good. So we're kind of on the same page. So, we were just talking, and it's one of our agents that now are with us currently. And it's just one situation, right? So when we're out there, we're doing this business, right? We have to make sure that from the time we intersect the family or have any type of conversation, that we're not just, I call it gunslinging policies, right? You know, we're so adept now in this industry because of, you can call State Farm and you can get your home, auto, and life bundled together, that it's supposed to be this fast process, but the people don't even know what they're purchasing, right? And then the other part of it is we have an obligation with our licenses to do full analysis to make sure that we understand what's going on. But then when we go actually apply the policy to the family, making sure the information that we're putting on there is correct. There's a 2-year, what they call the 2-year
contestability.
I know I'm losing my mind. I'm going to the other side already. 2-year contestability. I'm talking non-compete because we're on the other side. That's a whole other thing we'll get into. Contestability, where that if the agent at any point misrepresented anything on that app or persuaded it could be something like your weight. I mean, basic stuff. I'm going to talk about a situation real quick, which just blows my mind. It could be anything on there that's falsified. They could cancel out that policy if they find it within 2 years of it getting done. So you get a family all set up. You get on there as an agent. You're not listing things properly. It could be something on their medical. It could be something on their weight. It could be anything that's not factual, right? That should be put on there properly. They have up to 2 years to cancel out that policy, and that family that thought they were good is not so good. The reason I'm talking about that instance right now is we just are helping an agent of ours that has come on board from another company, and everyone that comes on, we do a full analysis to see where they're at to make sure everything's done properly. And we found that the policies were sold incorrectly, but not on top of that, that person was putting in a living benefits claim to get their living benefits. They're going through some health stuff right now. The company got it. When they get it, they do a full review of all your records to match what your initial application looked like. That gentleman had an ankle injury, which will not make you get life insurance, by the way. It's an ankle injury. And they did not report it on the application, which means it's falsifying documentation. The claim was denied. So now they cannot get their living benefits claim. The also thing they found was the wife was a rider on the policy, and they put her weight off by 100 pounds. They found out that was a misinformation. He's like, my wife never weighed that much, let alone right now to get her qualified. So listen to this. This young man has been paying his policy for 1 year and 8 months, thinking everything's fine for his family. First of all, the way it was built, I won't get into today, that was incorrect. The whole policy was built the wrong way. But his claim got denied. Then they looked at his policy, said you falsified. They canceled his life insurance policy, sent him back his premium he paid. Now he's not covered at all. For what? But here's what I'll tell you why they did that. Because the agent on the other side and these models that are going on, they're running for promotions. They're trying to get an award at the next ceremony. So they're more worried about that. They're more worried about their own money in their pocket, that they thought this would be no big deal. And let's be real, maybe a lot of apps get by the 2 years and no one ever finds out. but it's the ones that they do find out because they're doing it the wrong way. And now the agent's fine. They already got past their time of getting a charge back at 12 months. Nothing's going to happen to them. But now the client has nothing and they're up, what's creek. And that agent's getting recognized and speaking at events and doing all this stuff when they're doing the wrong thing. And it hits home for me because I know the people and I know the agents and I understand that. And I'm like, man, this is going on all over all these companies because in my opinion, we've lost our way of family first. I think that was a company's name, but we lost our way. I'm just kidding. We've lost our way and it's turned more into what's in it for me as the agent. Right. And the crazy part, and I know you guys can agree with this and I'll pass it over. Like when you do this the right way, this is a very lucrative industry.
Mm-hmm.
It's more than anything I've ever seen in my life. I've never understood why someone would cut a corner and jeopardize themselves, their business, and the family they're serving for an extra couple bucks when you guys know how we get paid here. It's borderline ridiculous. You can help 4 families in a month and your whole entire life set. You could replace your full-time income.
Absolutely.
So anyway, I'll end on that. That's my one little thing on something that just hit home. We met that gentleman, all of us in Rockford. We were all together listening to the story. And I'm like, oh, heck, I get all fired up. I'm going to watch my language today because, I get going a little bit.
We free people here, Jay. We free people. We free. But I agree wholeheartedly. And hearing him express that and watching him get emotional, meeting his wife, knowing that he's a family man and what that put him through and how it jeopardized, it made everybody emotional. I think it really just kind of hit the core. It makes me feel good. I got a lot of clients on my page, and even when they just, I stopped smoking. Just say I stopped smoking. I don't. I'm not. Right? Things are that major where it can make you or break you. And I'm not going to be the person that is the integral part in you being broke when I'm trying to make you.
Dude, Fancy, he's got 6 kids.
Yep.
He has kids with special needs. He adopted a lot of the kids. Like,
yep.
Dude, like when he was
genuinely
stuff, like I'm like, man, for what though? And the crazy part is, I don't care what I don't care if it's Primerica, PHP, WFG, LMNOP, QRS, TUV. Right? There's all these dang companies. It's fine. Yeah. And it's not the company itself. I believe every one of these companies were built on the right foundation. I believe that. But then we come in as independent agents, and leadership is so terrible in these models, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's just because you get a code, now you're a leader. So I don't understand how that works, but don't get me into that, right? There's not a lot of development. That you 2 young ladies said to me, I cannot believe that you on Fridays do a leadership mindset training. I'm like, yeah, you're about to be an entrepreneur. You have to learn how to run a business. You have to learn how to work your mind. It blew my mind that you guys have been around the industry that long and that wasn't happening for you. So then it's like, are they trying to develop you? Or are they trying to make money off you? Now, I know I'm going on both sides of the thing here, but that's in their Fancy's nodding the, I mean, Sylvia's nodding the head. And I don't think the umbrella overall is trying to do that. But then we get lack of leadership through leadership in levels ends up being to where we run into what we're running into. So
also, like you spoke to, when they have an outfit or a certain form. So when you have things where you have these contests, right, and you're doing things to, I won't say make people do things because you should have integrity in all things, but
it is jammed in a 2-week period, and they make you feel kind of crappy when you can't hit it. Let's just be real. Hey, we're being real for a minute. I was there for 10 years. You don't hit it. They say you're not committed. You're not that good. And they understand leadership at some top levels, and they know how to move someone's mind. So let me ask you this. You were there when you didn't hit it. Were they like, it's okay? Or how did they make you feel when you didn't hit it? This is important.
I'll tell you this. There's a person who sat to take the test, and I think they had to retest probably over 24 times. They finally took the test and passed it, maybe the 25th time. And this is a young...
That's an OG, right? That's an OG. That's 25 times.
Hey, that guy's a warrior.
So imagine having that type of integrity, steadfastness, perseverance, stick-to-itness, and then life happens, like it happened to all of us all day, every day. And when life happens, the leadership who is supposed to be the steward of helping you personally develop and foster and facilitate you going further without checking on you, simply text you and says, oh, you gave up on yourself. Not knowing anything about what you're going through in the background, what life is doing to you or anything like that. So the personal development part was definitely a big deal, but what you're speaking to in terms of leadership and how you're made to feel when things happen by them, and also by not helping you build that kind of muscle memory to keep pushing, to keep going. Motivation is like a shower. It's required on a daily basis. So checking in once, twice a week, right? Or a month on a person in an industry where now you're in business for yourself, but not by yourself. When previously you've been told what time to punch in, how long you got to eat, if you choose to smoke, when, where, and how, right? And just coming into a new realm of things. So the personal development part is so imperative in the overall scheme of things. That's how we obliterate and eradicate people doing things for the wrong reason and keeping their integrity with helping the families instead of helping themselves.
Yeah, you said people are you're in business for yourself, but not by yourself. But a lot of people are just alone on an island. And not only that, but in certain environments, they're making your island feel smaller and smaller and smaller. And it's just a matter of time before you don't even have a piece of land to stand on, and then you drown and you're out of the business. You are not helped, your family's not helped. The people who would only be able to get help because of what you're doing now lost forever.
Yeah.
Oh, you firing me up right now. Hold on. Let's talk about this real quick.
That's right, Jamie. Mr. Don't Quit.
So Fancy, how long you said you've been in the industry?
Yeah, keep making me say this, huh, Jason? I've been licensed almost 16 years.
There's a point. Yeah, how long for you?
4 years.
Tino?
Almost 10.
Yeah,
Almost
same
a
as me.
decade.
We didn't even know me almost a decade, man. We like old now. You say a decade. Oh my God, bro. Right? So Fancy, that makes you like super proud.
Watch out.
But listen, here's what's important. How could it be possible? Right? And we know this, right? There are multiple independent outlets out there all over the place, all companies, right? Then you have your Fidelities, you have your Vanguards, you have all these financial institutions, you have the banking system.
Mm-hmm.
How is it that after 16 years, 4 years, and 10 years, right? And then take all the licensed agents that are out there, how is it that we still have a population that is 70% financially illiterate? So, and then that's what they say. Oh, it's the school's fault. They don't teach it in the school system. That's true. But I didn't know the school was supposed to teach you about money.
That's right.
Stay with me. Hold on, stay with me. I'm going somewhere because it's always been irritating me. Oh, it's the government's fault. The government's supposed to teach us about money. Isn't the people that are taking your money supposed to be teaching you about money? Isn't the place that you're giving your money to? So this gets me fired up, right? Because I'm looking at the stats every day. I've been doing this for 10 years. I'm like, why are we in the same spot? If all of us supposedly go into all these independent outlets or work at these places and we learn financial education, right? How could it still be so bad? How is it that Fidelity holds $4.5 trillion of 401k money throughout the U.S., the number one asset holder? And every person that has a Fidelity account, I say, hey, Fancy, how's it going with your 401k at work? Yeah, who do you have? Fidelity. Can you explain it to me? Not one person. Okay, let me not get absolute here. Very few people actually understand anything. The majority of people I sit down with are like, I have no clue. How that Fidelity is allowed to take your money every 2 weeks out of your paycheck. You put into a self-directed plan that your work tells you to do, and not one person can explain their plan. Can anyone explain this to me? Because after 10 years I had them, they never stopped me one time and said, Jason, you've put a lot of your money in here. We probably should tell you how this is working. Never once did I get one phone call. How is it that we walk into a bank every day? I've done it. I'm 43. I've never walked into a bank and they taught me about money. They don't say, hey, let's have dude, you're kind of getting low. We should probably teach you this. So how come they know all this information? They hold all of our money and nothing's getting out there. It doesn't make sense to me. But when they say it's the school system's fault. No, you went to school to learn how to be a nurse. That's what they're supposed to teach you, not how to know money. But everyone holds all these places to hold money. And then I go to these financial firms we were in. I was in them for 10 years. You know what was more recognized? Not if you helped a family, if you brought someone into business with you. That was more recognized. You helped the family, they're like, oh, that's not very good. How many people did you recruit? So now it turned into distribution, which is fine if the distribution's correct. But if we have people that are making up applications, and that's one story of gazillions of stories we can all tell, that people aren't getting where they want to be, then like now you start these other companies like FFL. I don't have a problem with these companies. I wasn't there, so I could talk about this real quick. I never worked there. But I'm like, you want people to come in and just hammer phone calls of the same leads. You know, someone told me that this kid was like, when you buy the leads, after 30 days, they disappear. I'm like, what are you talking about? They disappear. Did you pay for them? They like, is that a true thing, by the way? Because I almost died. Is that real?
Hey, we in the magic industry. Poof.
No. hold on a second. This is like a question. Is that real? Because I've never bought nothing. He tripped me out.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So he's like, they go away. I said, well, how are they yours then if you just did that? Oh no. My point is, people are coming in here to get this license to help families, and after a little bit of time, they realize, why are we not helping families? Why are we doing everything else? Now, I can speak from my lens of 10 years. I'm like, why is that not the most important thing anymore? Where do we lose track of that's actually the most important thing, is the families being served, and it's got onto this whole other stuff. Now, I love recognition. I think everyone should get recognized. I think if you do a good job, you should be paid well and you should be recognized, but not at the mercy of doing the right thing. You got someone breathing down your neck, making sure you're supposed to be independent, but hitting certain numbers.
Structure. It's the structure, Jason. So absolutely.
Sylvia, what do you got? I know Sylvia got something. I know because she like bites her lip when she gets going. She's like, Jason, stop talking so I can say something. I'm trying to figure out real stuff.
Everything that you're saying is true, and it's sad that the actual recognition overpowers what we're actually supposed to be doing. Like helping people are losing sight of what this is about. You're supposed to be helping people. And I remember you saying in Rockford, if your heart is right, everything else is just going to come, because people are attracted to that, whether it's you building your team or is you helping families. It's going to happen organically. So I think people's their focus is just wrong in the industry. It's money driven. And yes, you can make a lot of money in this industry. Let's not, say that you can't, but I don't think that should be the focus, because the money is going to come by default.
Our sector is a special sector because with all of the other entities that Jason named, they're not about to put you on the game. They're not going to educate you. I've had so many instances within the past year where people have reached out to me, and because of social media, they hear buzzwords like maybe IUL or infinite banking, and they just want to shovel money at me, right? And so when I take the time out to educate them, they don't want to hear it. They don't want to spend time with me. But I have a system and a process that I go through, right, to ensure I dot my I's and cross my T's, and I'm proficient in what I do. And there's so much misinformation on social media as a whole, and period, right? So like people interchange the 2-year contestability with the 2-year wait with the two, you know what I mean? And it's like, hey, I'm a professional who's been licensed 1,000 years. So I should know this, right? So let me tell you how this go. And so we're the only only sector within the financial industry that's going to educate you and put you on the game. You know what I mean? So it's imperative for us to have the right people here and be trained, with somebody like Vantage, who's going to do the personal development, take the time to do a FNA, a financial needs analysis. You can't go into no doctor and tell the doctor what you'd like to have. You can't place your order and say, I'd like to have a little bit of Vicodin and I'd like some Ritalin, and it don't work like that, right? There's an assessment that's going to occur that's going to determine what you need. And that's who we are in the industry. Nowhere else are you going to get that.
So here's a question, and Tino will be good for you or whatever, but here's what I'm thinking. So we all have the same feeling. And believe me, whoever's watching this or whoever sees this later that's in the industry, 99% of people feel the same way we do. There's the 1% that like dominates this thing. But here's the reality. At the end of the day, why do you think, and I think Sylvia started going down this road. So all the independent outlets, their mission is to eradicate the messed up thinking of all the institutions that we already know don't teach us. So stay with me. So we know coming in, because we get trained, Chase Bank ain't gonna explain this to them. It's our job to do it because we're independent. Fidelity is never going to teach them because they want to keep that money. So that's what we're taught coming in by each organization we go into. They're teaching us to say, we know the school's not going to teach it. We know that the government's not going to teach it. We know that the financial institutions want to keep the money. So they train us to go out there and do the right thing. So why is it then, do we believe that in a big majority of what we've all seen from our companies, by the way, so this isn't one company, this is multiple companies. Why do you think it's got so off track if we're supposed to be the ones that have the information? They're supposed to be helping these people because they're being taken advantage of. What do you think is happening in these models that is making them get so off track? Because it is crazy for me to listen to your guys' stories. And I'm like, oh my God, we're in the same company because the same thing's happening over here. Like, So why do you think it got so far off track? If we came to be independent to save these people and help them, why is it not getting fixed? What's going on? What have you noticed? Tino, what's going on?
I mean, you just lost track of like truly helping families. It's like, what is the goal of your clients? What is the goal of the people that are on your team? You know, it's not about what I want. I mean, my goal is going to be different from the three of you sitting here. I mean, having this conversation. Like, did we put that first? Are we truly helping people, or is it about, let me just make them do what I want them to do so I can get the reward?
Dude, here's what's crazy. So who's worse? The system that just says we know but we ain't going to tell you, or the system that says we're going to teach you to stay with you? Or is it worse, the one that says we now know and our job's supposed to be helping you, but we also know that who we're talking to is uneducated and I'm going to use it for my own gain? Because here's the deal. The banking system is very clear. We may not like it, but they'll say, if you ain't got 150,000 liquid, we ain't talking to you. At least, I mean, I don't like that stance, but at least you know. You can be mad about it, but they're like, we just aren't even going to have to communicate with you. We're over here like, we'll help you if you have $10 or a gazillion bucks, but we know you don't know nothing. That's how that young man got ripped off, because we are deploying ourselves into these communities. I know, Tino, I see what your brain's going. This is how my brain works. So we are training people to be deployed into places, and if that leader has bad intention, they can destroy communities of people that need this more than anybody else. Someone that says, I'm just not going to help you for 150,000, they're just like, that's just how I play the game. So where I get frustrated and why I left after 10 years of doing this was I watched a company that the top of the company didn't care about helping families no more. They're trying to sell me their book they're writing. I'm like, how are you selling me a book as my upline? That's what they call them in our things, right? You've been here 20 years and you want me to buy your Happy and Strong book, or you want me to buy this book, Max It Out. You want me to buy this book? I'm like, why am I buying your book? I'm not here to buy books from you. I'm here to help families. Why are you trying to give me coaching programs when you're my upline? And then I call my home office and they're like, it's company approved. Okay, well, that even scares me even more, that you've allowed now the people that have the most knowledge and the most time. You said you're now bigger than what the cause is. You can get your own cause going. And now you're going to make all of your agents have to partake in this. Do you know they made people buy books? Like, you have to buy 10. I'm like, and then they try to cover it with a portion of it goes to a charity. Like, are you kidding me real quick? We came in here to be independent agents. That's why I get so passionate. I'm like, I haven't lost track of the fact that when I came in the industry, I was a 33-year-old broke dude that didn't understand one thing about finance. Am I able to share my screen real quick? Does that let me do it? I don't know. I'm going ham right now. Just stay with me. Okay. Share my screen. I don't know what I'm supposed to be sharing, but let's look at this. I got to show you guys something. Man, I get so fired up. Tino, I'm so glad you put this on the dot, right? Can you guys see this? Do you see my screen? No? Yeah. All right. So real quick, in our company, we teach 3 basic rules of money, right? We all understand this, right? Rule 72, how money grows, how money's taxed. Yes? Yes?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
We are teaching this to find out what is the level of understanding the person we're talking to. It is not to find out what they don't know so we can take advantage of them. It is to find out what they don't know so we can meet them where they're at, so we can help them financially. Does someone understand interest who we're talking to? If they don't, we need to slow this down and make sure that they understand interest. Then we find out, do you even understand what kind of accounts are actually out there? Do you even know how your money is growing? Then we start to try to find out, why are they doing it? And if they don't understand, we need to educate them so they can decide properly. Then we talk about taxes with them. Do you even know what's going to happen when you need it? So, but all these little slides that we go through are to find out what does the person know so that we can make sure that they don't get misled in the wrong thing. You guys, and I can't see you right now because you're all gone, but when you sat down, and it doesn't matter how you did it with your other companies, some way, shape, or form, we're getting to this kind of information, right? How many people had a clue what we're explaining to them, honestly, in your whole careers?
Not many.
Not many. They're like, I don't even know what they're talking about. No one explains to me. So at that point, we are licensed agents. I don't know how more people don't get fired with their license in this industry, to be honest with you. It blows my mind. All these companies be covering up for everybody. It blows my mind. I'm like, how did you get all this stuff and you didn't lose your license? Like, that's crazy, because these companies gotten so big, $1 billion company with 80,000 people in it. And they it's like a cover going on. And I'm being real for a minute because it is what it is. My point is, We're supposed to get this information so we can help them, not to take advantage of them. Then we get more deep in the industry. Hold on. I don't know how I got off my screen. Oh my gosh. I don't know where am I supposed to be, right? Okay. Look at this. Then we're out there educating people on like, dude, there's all these different types of insurance you can get. Term, whole life, index. Indexing's been around since the 90s. Like 90s. It's 2024 for crying out loud. But because the traditional financial sector says, oh, this stuff doesn't work, and they just spew stuff out, people don't even know there's an option for them. But here's the deal. $930 million went into these products that we're talking to people. Someone knows what's going on. This was this first quarter.
Yeah.
$930 million. I know I'm getting fired up, but I have so many friends that are like, are you in this little insurance thing? What do you even do? And I'm like, guys, do you even understand what the hell I actually do? It drives me insane when I'm like, dude, I'm watching your family. You're going to fall right off the cliff of everyone else that's happened to, all of our grandparents, all of our parents, all of our aunts and uncles, all of our cousins. You think everyone's just dumb? I can't fall for that. You can't tell me every baby boomer is unintelligent. It's their fault they're not retiring. Then, real quick, I know I'm jumping off real quick, but then we talk about protecting your money with annuities now. And then you got these financial people, oh, annuities are terrible. Bro, what, you're talking about 1900 annuities? Not in 2024 annuities, dude. Because if they were so terrible, how is it possible that $113.5 billion went in this last quarter? Oh, you're just not telling our people that. Oh, I get it. You just don't tell my dad who was a cop. You keep this for the top 1%, top 5%. This game's got to stop. These are real numbers of this year. You can't hide from the truth. Someone understands this is good because they're protecting all their principal. Here's what's even crazier. Let me read this to you. April 25th, 2024. This is a few months ago. Total U.S. annuity sales are $1.35 billion in the first quarter of 2024, 21% above prior results, and just shy of the quarterly sales record set in the fourth quarter of 23. I don't know how to stop sharing. There we go. I think I got it. Did I get it? My point on this is happening right now. I love it when I get on and people are like, oh, you know, in 1982. I'm like, are you kidding me right now? What the hell are you talking about, dude? We're in 2024. Things are changing like this. I mean, we're about to have a presidential election. I think one guy just went to prison. The other guy can't talk. I don't know what the hell we're going to do. I'm freaking out. My point is, whether or not whatever side of the fence doesn't even matter. But we're so distracted with all this stuff. And here's the reality. My mom was just diagnosed in the last 7 months with stage 4 ovarian cancer. Man, we weren't thinking any health stuff in our family. I mean, we're rocking and rolling. And then I'm like, hold on a second. In 2015, I started this company. My mom's 62. She'd been 53 years old. Okay. And I learned all this stuff. And I was like, I got to take care of my family. The first ones I went to, the hardest people in the world, my own family. I'm like, guys, I learned something. They're like, Jason, you do enrollment in college. I don't think I'm going to listen to you. I said, you're going to listen to me. Right. So I sit down with them. And then my mom, because a couple years ago, had a heart murmur, right? I could get her life insurance, but I couldn't get her living benefits. And I'll be honest with you. I was brand new to the industry. I felt like I got to win. We got her something, not thinking 10 years later, the thing that was going to get her was living benefits. But here's what pisses me off. Sorry for my language. Fancy. Why did no one come to my mom and dad when they were in their 20s and 30s?
I've heard.
Why was no one knocking on our door at that time? Why was no one giving my parents a time of day? My parents aren't stupid, by the way. I don't think any of our parents or families are dumb. Okay. Look at all of us. We're so smart. I'm just kidding. But my point is, like, no one gave them a chance. And what makes me mad about these models right now as independent models is they've been around since 1978 as they got real big with A.O. Williams and everything started going. So it was there.
Yeah.
What were people focusing on? Was it the families or was it about what was in it for them? And the reality is, you know, since the 1980s, this whole buy term and invest the rest thing, that was great in the 80s when the market was good. In 2000, it all switched, right? Boom, market crashes. The 90s index accounts came out. The wealthy understood them. None of our parents got them. They lost money in 2000, 2001, 2002, 2008. They got crushed. And now we're sitting here today, and we have the ability to change people's lives. And I watched one of my buddies just spin off and start another company, and they're doing the same damn crap they were doing before. Making up stuff, saying they got companies they don't have, telling people, selling the dream. They got young guys smoking cigars inside cigar lounges like this is the thing we're supposed to be doing. If you took care of my finances and I saw you on social media smoking a cigar like you're big pimping off of my money, you would never touch my money again. You're going to eventually move up in the world like my family. You start to do well, you make money, your CPA calls you and says, you got to upgrade your life a little bit because you're making more money. I don't mind someone driving a nice car or doing something because they're supposed to be doing that the progression of life. You start a business, you do certain things, but we're teaching, I'm seeing this, the young people in the industry, like it's like some private jet fly around. I'm like, what the hell is going on? Sorry, I went on a lot of stuff on that, guys. I'm going to throw it to you. But like, this is my soul right now.
This is what I want to speak to. You said, why didn't nobody come knock on my parents' door when they was in their 20s, before my mom had the heart murmur and other things went on? And I have grown a lot of clients. And when I say grown clients, I take them from a very infantile stage. And a lot of people don't want to take the time and do that because it's not a big check in that. It's the same thing that we preach and teach to tell people to get it while you're young, get it while it's inexpensive, right? To teach them to do that. But the people on this side don't want to take the time to grow with the person, to grow with them through different stages of life, when they're making more money. Now, when I have to structure a policy for the baby, for college, $1 million baby, things like that, people don't want to take the time to do that. And so on the other side, no matter how flat a pancake is, it has two sides. So our people have to say, let me get in where I fit in. Yeah, I'm only 25, I'm 21, I'm 22, whatever the case may be, but you want to get your financial house in order as soon as possible. And on our end, you know, it's not a great payday. Like we can, like you said, you write 4 policies in a month and you might take a month off, right? It's not that, but a lot of people don't have the time to take.
But Nancy, hold on, you said something. But aren't you telling everyone that comes into these models that you're supposed to be building your business for the rest of your life? Isn't that what they say? Isn't that what they're selling?
They sell what they say.
This is what they're telling all of us. Hey, come in here. You can make this be your career. You start part-time. It can be full-time. But if they're not teaching what you just said, think about this. What you just said is so powerful. They want you to come in and sell a bunch of stuff. But here's the deal. Business ownership means you have to have a client base that you can service for the rest of their life. You're supposed to build a book of business.
That's right.
So you're supposed to have young clients, middle-aged clients, older clients. You're supposed to help the one that's starting out because you're supposed to be thinking, well, it's not about the paycheck right now. It's about the fact that I'm going to build a relationship with this person. Over time, we're going to build a book of business. I'm trying to build a business the rest of my life, not for the next 30 days. And over time, what is that person going to do if you take care of them? They're going to refer you more people. We're supposed to be in a referral business in a lot of these models, right? Referral business. How are you going to get referrals over your lifetime if you don't take care of people over an extended period of time? Here's what the problem and the stigma is on the insurance industry. Since we don't get paid by the person, we get paid on the back end by the companies, but we get paid a big chunk up front, and the residuals are small. They're like, there's no reason to service your client long term because you're not still getting yours. That is the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life, because how are you supposed to be in business then the rest of your life? Now the financial sector gets it because they get paid every month off it.
That's right.
So they're eating off the growth of the product. Yeah. That's why I stayed on insurance my entire life. If we can figure out, and I'm telling you Advantage, we are going to figure this out. We'll be the only company that gets this. And here's why. If we could teach people how to build a business in the insurance industry, they'll have no competition because ain't nobody stays in it long enough. And if they do stay in it long enough, they decide to do what's happened to all these companies. They go rogue. They start doing all this other stuff. And they want to sell books and do this. And it gets bigger than self. And they lose track of it. If we can actually understand that the financial portfolio is the most underserved portfolio in every single portfolio we see, it's the insurance portfolio. It's not the financial one. There's enough financial products to go around all day, but they're training people. They say one thing, and this is why I'm so frustrated. They tell them one thing. Grab all these young kids. Oh, you're going to be rich. Rich, you know how hard this is? You got to work, dude. What are you talking about? You're going to get rejected. You're going to have to learn about yourself. You're going to have to understand products and services. You're going to have to become a professional. It's a licensed industry. It's not like we're all trying to go work. I'm sorry.
I have a question.
Just because your license doesn't make you a professional.
Jason, here's my thing. I don't feel like this is for everybody. I don't know if you agree or disagree, but when I go to any medical facility, whoever my healthcare professional is, be it the phlebotomist, the CNA, the nurse, medical practitioner, the doctor, I feel like certain things are a calling. Now, I don't think none of us grew up saying, like Tino say, I want to be an insurance person when I grow up, right? But I think the same bedside manner, care, and compassion that a medical professional has, that's what you need to have over here. Because if you don't, right? I've worked in the medical field. If somebody's in pain and they talk to me crazy, I have the innate ability to recognize that's not personal towards me. They're not doing well. The same thing when people tell me no or reject the product, because they ain't rejecting me because I don't get rejected. But when things like that occur, right, to not take it personal. And people who have not been personally developed or have that kind of compassion towards people, I feel like that's why I feel like this is not for everybody, because a lot of people can't take rejection. They're not going to have that perseverance. Then they start doing shady stuff. Now you're hurting families. Now you're recruiting people with that same mentality, and you're tainting the pool of things. So some people feel like it's for everybody. I don't. Do you feel like this is an industry for any and everybody?
Tino, so you guys can answer it. What do you think? I know I my answer, but
Absolutely not. Because everybody, one, doesn't have the heart, doesn't have the integrity, and you got to have some tough skin. So
I agree.
I don't think.
What do you think, Tino?
I think you got to know what you're doing, man. You truly got to know what you're doing. You got to have the heart to serve people. If it's not about that, then it's just like, why are you here? You know, you could do anything else. There's easier ways to make money than being in this industry.
Fact. And here's what I'll say too, what's kind of crazy. I know this was a preemptive. We're gonna do like a part 2 because man, we're just getting started here. I know we only have a couple more minutes for today, but listen, here's what's also, man, we could be doing this for 24 more hours. I could be on this 24 hours straight. But here's why it's important, because what you're saying, like you do have to know what you're doing because of what we are offering. That's why I love the fact that lets you start part-time. Mm-hmm. We don't want you to leave your career, because this is not like a leave your career start, especially if you're independent. That's why we want you to keep doing what you're doing. Do not go full-time in this until you know. It might take you 90 days, it could take you 6 months, it might take you a year.
I thought you was about to say 15 years, but keep going.
I know. But my point is that's where the whole, hey, start part-time and learn this industry. Don't have to depend on the paycheck coming in right away, so you can do it the right way. But dude, they brought people in part-time so they can get all their leads. Here's another thing I don't understand. Why are people going out in the field without a license? Now, this is going to be for part 2. We're going to start with this next time, because I have a list of things I've written down right now that I'm not going to get to. This is hey, if you're listening today or you watch this, we will set a time with more notice. And I'm telling you, there's 400,000 licensed agents right now in the building models all throughout all the companies. They need to hear this message. There are too many good people. I'm telling you, dude, I've done this for so long. They're following the wrong people. They're following the wrong thing. They're like, man, we're killing it. Fool, you ain't made money in 6 years. Stop saying you're killing it when your leader's balling out and you ain't making money. No, we're doing
their win ain't your win.
No, but listen, but I'm fine if they're winning and you're winning. Now, I remember when I started this, and I'm talking to some of you ladies, like, we're doing so good. I'm like, hey, how much money have you made in the last 30 days? Oh, I haven't made any money. Well, how about it was April. How about since the beginning of the year? $190. Oh, fool, you ain't killing it. I don't know what you're talking about. Like, they might be killing it, but why have you been here 3 years and you can't do your own F&A? How have you possibly been here for over 5 minutes and you don't even understand what the heck an IUL is? Like, I don't understand.
You don't know the difference between term, whole, IUL, nothing.
But listen, because the model, I believe Art Williams, when he got upset back in the day about, and back then the whole life and permanent policies were not that good. He is not incorrect. And buying term and investing your money back then made sense because the markets made sense then, right? It made sense. But I think he went in with the right intention. He was pissed off because his mom got screwed on a policy that was $10,000 that should have been a couple $100,000 for a lot less. And he went in with the right intention to correct the wrong. And then what happened is Art Williams stepped away from the industry or got pushed out, whatever words they say at that point. Mm-hmm. And then his company got bought out by corporate. Corporate bought it out, turned it into what it was. All those leaders back then that didn't have his heart spun off and built all these other companies. Every single company spawned out of that's in the building model for the last 40 years. It all came from that lineage. And now you got all these companies running around and they're adopting the same ideologies that happened 40 years ago of like, hey, when you come in, give us all of your warm leads without a license. And you're like, okay, don't worry, you're going to get it back from the other person. Oh, that's awesome. They never get it back from anybody because they don't even know what they're doing because they don't teach them. They take. And then I'll segment number 2 to the next one. No, hey, Sylvia's getting fired up. But listen to me, you guys. I literally talked to all 3 of them before we launched this show, and we were talking behind the scene. I'm transparent as all get out. I was like, how deep do you want to go on this? Because I know we're all dedicated to what we want to do. I am tired of being quiet. It is frustrating to me. I have family members that still have not bought life insurance from me because I don't think they actually understand what I do. And if I got to get on a freaking Facebook Live and actually explain what the hell I do so they can understand, they don't even understand it. And the industry does such a bad job about it. And then on top of that, I know there's people sitting around need extra income. And they're like, maybe I should go in the industry. But they hear all these horror stories from all these companies. They're not even trying it. And I'm like, dude, you are smart. Yeah. And here's the last thing I'll tell you. If you decide to come in this industry, when you decide to come, well, we get to pick them, remember? We'll see if we want you or not. I'm just joking. Right. When you come in, you need to figure out what you want for your life. If you say, I want to come here and make an extra $1,000 a month, and that's all you want to do, and you are happy, you did your job, we will help you get there. If you want to make $1 gazillion, that's fine. The reality is we got to get you to your goals. I'm tired of everyone coming in here. And if you're only, I made $5,000, that's trash. Are you kidding me? People in America don't make $5,000 a month.
That's right.
You're going to tell them that they didn't do a good job. Shame on the leadership, man. That's not how it's supposed to be. So I know we got another meeting, but we're going to table this for part 2. We're going to give it a little more time so people know what's coming. But thank you guys for jumping out here, man. This is like last minute setup. This is just a feeling between all of us, man. Guys got a movement happening, and I'm just tired of watching this keep happening around everybody. So,
hey,
coming.
We start dropping the hammers.
All right,
about to bubble up.
You know what's sad? All of us do not despise where the companies we came from. None of us. I've not heard one of you guys say anything bad. Now, maybe leadership in it, but not one of us said the whole overall company. That's not it.
No.
You get enough bad actors inside of it, it'll destroy this entire thing. And it's ran rampant with no regulation. And it's scary because there's no way after 16 years, 10 years, and 4 years that the same people are financially literate when there's this many building models out there that are allowed to go into anywhere they want and they get the education. It doesn't make sense. It's illogical. So we're going to make
Sylvia, say something to close us out.
Close us out, young lady.
Me?
Yep.
Oh, you got to catch part 2, honey, because Jason is going to bring it. Listen, there are a lot of things within the industry that are not right, and we are here to rectify it. So you got to tune in for part 2.
All right.
You know, I'm fired up for all you guys.
For sure.
Everyone's being who they are. Tino got his little polo on. You know, Tino be balling out the polo. I see the Tiger shirt. Sylvia, thank God you didn't get all up today. Hey, this industry needs people to be who they are, and I appreciate all of you guys more than you know. All your experience, your wisdom of the industry. I know it was a couple days together, but it moved me in the direction to have this. Like I just felt like we have to have these conversations, man. I'm tired of just sitting back and letting people be misled, and people are making a lot of money, and all money ain't good money. You know, I'll end on this and we'll talk next time. The company that one of my boys just started, they're all making all this money. They just lost their top contracts in the industry because they're churning all the business. It's not even good money. You can't leave where you're at, cancel all your stuff, rewrite stuff, look like you're balling. That is a disservice.
That's a dirty game.
It's terrible, man. They can't even get any, and then they're putting out there that they have all these things. And I'm talking to the providers themselves to their face because we have them. And they're like, dude, they're lying. And I'm like, I'm tired of it, dude. Too many people are going to get hurt. Not just the agents, which if they want to buy into that and that's how you want to run your business, you have to you deal with that later in life. I know how that works, right? But the families that are being hurt,
they don't have a choice.
Is the wrong thing.
The agent is choosing it. Yeah.
Last time I checked, I didn't know that getting in this industry is all about private jets and flashy, and look at my Rolls Royce. If you're my client, I'd be like, bro, what the hell, man? Why are you acting like that? Like, you know what I mean? Like, come on, dude. Like, dude, I'm broke as hell. You just took my $100, and now you want to live. You want to have that stuff. I'm fine with it. But why are you flaunting it all in front of everybody's face? You got low self-esteem. You might be big, but you tiny. Anyway, don't get me going. I'll be talking some trash. All right, let's rock and roll. We got ladies get me all fired up. Hey, we got Detroit in the house. We got Atlanta, Chicago, and then AZ just firing up. But it's true, and people need to hear the truth. All right,
let's rock and roll. Have a good day. Bye.